2018, and that can only mean one thing. The Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education just kicked off officially today. Done with the practicals, done with all that, and right now the candidates are just beginning to sit for their main examination that cuts across the nation. We are doing a situation check. We'll be in Migori County with Bernard Juang, we'll be with Martin Maura in Muranga, and of course Kevin Mutai will be speaking to us from the county of Mombasa. Later in studio, we're speaking about engineering, and we're talking about the upcoming International Construction Research Conference and exhibition, and I'll have 3 guests in studio to talk to me about that. And of course there are other stories we're following from across the country. It's not only examination day, there's a lot of things to follow up, so we'll have all that for you during this 2-hour program. But first, let's take you to Migori as we begin our situation check around the country as KCSE kicks off. Bernard Juang joins us from Masara, that's in Suna East, Migori County. Good morning, Bernard. Good to see you in sunny Migori. And of course, we know that there were several government officials this morning witnessing the opening of the exam containers across the country. We don't know how it began. Where you are, tell us where you are exactly, which school you are in, and how the KCSE began.
Well, thank you very much, Ken. We are here at Masara, just as you have said. Remember, according to Kenya National Examination Council, that's NEC, a total number of, a total of 1.6 million candidates are currently sitting for KCSE theory papers all over the country. And in Migori County alone, we have a total number over 17,000 candidates sitting for the papers with 283 centers, examination centers. And remember, we managed early in the morning, we managed to walk around the county. We started in Rongo. The county education officers and the country security officers started dispatching the examination papers as early as 6 a.m. It ended at 7 a.m. and currently where we are Masara Mixed Secondary School. Examination started very in the morning as early as 8 a.m. and currently we are just going to talk to one of the school principal here, Dan Aloka, just to tell us how is the process going. How is it going? Welcome, Aloka. Tell us, how is the going here?
Thank you very much. The going is good. We can say that the process has begun smoothly. The exam began in earnest at 8 a.m. and we believe we're going to all is well. Yeah, so far there are no hitches that we are facing. We are liaised with the Sub-County Director of Education, the TSC County Director, and all the stakeholders who are involved in the examination, and all is well. Yes.
How many candidates do you have?
We have a total of 75 candidates, 23 of which are girls, and 52 boys. So we hope that at the end of it, we are going to have an improved performance compared to what we had last year, and hopefully the number of girls will improve.
Could you just please how many number of tell us the number of boys sitting for this exam and number of girls? Remember, we are in Suna West Masara, where we have gold mine.
Yeah, basically this is a gold mine area, and girl child education is a challenge here. So far this year we have 23 girls against 52 boys that we have registered for these exams. So that is about barely a third of total number of candidates that we have. We hope next year we're going to have an improvement. We have been advocating for girl child education. We have got the support of the area MP, Honorable Peter Masara, who has organized lots of seminars and workshops and talks for the girls. And we believe that next year we're going to have a higher number of girls as compared to this year.
You are talking about 70 candidates sitting for the exam. Are they all in?
Yes, all our candidates are in. All of them, they are in fine state of health. We don't have any cases of absenteeism. Yeah.
What are your expectations?
We expect an improved results as compared to what we had last year. We have invested all our energy this year. We cleared the syllabus in good time in March. And so far we've been doing very serious revision, and we hope it won't go in vain.
Well, thank you very much. Speaking there is Dan Aloka Masara, principal, Masaramik Secondary School's principal here speaking, saying that they are ready and his students are currently sitting for the exam and they are expecting good performance. And joining me again is the supervisor. He's just going to tell us the situation, whether he has been going some challenges. You start with your name. What are the challenges maybe have you encountered since it started?
Okay, I'm Lugalia Victor. So far, no challenges. Exams are smooth. Everything is okay. Preparations are well done. And I hope we'll clear the exam and everything will be okay. Yeah.
Maybe security-wise?
Security, you have a security woman around. Everything is okay. I don't think whether there's going to be any problem. Yeah, thank you.
Well, I think when did they start the examination? Or it was late? They started late.
They didn't delay because the channel of now communication and transport mode has been very much okay. We began at exactly 8. Yeah.
So far things are good.
So far things are good. Yeah.
All students are in.
All students are in preparations, frisking. We have done that, and we hope everything is okay.
Well,
thank you.
Thank you very much, Ken. You've heard from the examination officials, even the school principal, Dana Loka, speaking there. And remember, security has been beefed all over the county so as to curb cases of cheating in the country. In Rongo, there were many police officers who are moving to different examination centers. And remember, we'll be moving around again. And apart from examination, I'll just tell you, Deputy President William Ruto is expected in
Right, we'll try and get back
give you
to
more updates
Bernard
as they...
Ojwang, who is in Masara, that's in the county of Migori, where he says exams in that region, or in that school, at least for that school, began at 8 a.m. as expected. Everything was coordinated, and of course, everything is running smoothly as at now. Now, several government officials witnessed the opening of the exams this morning. We'll bring you the story later. Following that, we are also following the story about transport crisis in the capital, owing to the action that has been taken by several SACCOs to get their cars off the roads because they're protesting the return of Michuki rules and the fact that the timeline is very tight. So it's really caused a lot of transport hiccup in the capital. We are following that for you also. But let's talk still about education. And Martin Mwaura is in Muranga County, where exams could or should have begun at 8 a.m. Let's speak to him and find out. Martin, good morning and good to see you from Muranga. Talk to us about your area. The exams began at 8 or they didn't?
Thank you so much, Ken. We're coming live from Muranga High School. Muranga High School is one of the best performing schools in KCSE. Last year they topped the county, and as we speak right now, at exactly 5:30, this PS Water, Mr. Irongo Irago, came at the county commissioner's office, and he's the one who issued the papers to the relevant schools. Now, in Muranga County, we have 227,398 candidates who are sitting for the paper in 338 institutions in Muranga. Now, so far, we don't have any hitches. The exam started at exactly by 8. The papers were picked by 6. And now, the PS Water, who is in Muranga, has just left the institution and is touring various schools. And we'll keep you updated if anything happens. But so far,
Right. So far, so good also in Muranga County. We're speaking there to Martin Mwaura. Incidentally, our signals are freezing all over. I don't know if they're having jammers in school today or in those schools because we're having a challenge with those signals, but we'll try and speak to Martin Mwaura later. But Muranga also by 5:30. The exams were there, witnessed, the containers opened. We'll try and speak to him later on also. Let's try Mombasa and see if it works out. Kevin Mutai is in Mombasa as always. Kevin, good morning. Tell us from where you are. The exams, they began on schedule, 8 a.m.
Well, good morning to you, Ken, and we are joining the broadcast from the Mombasa town, where, of course, this morning we had the CS Education, Amina Mohammed, where we witnessed her officiating the opening of the container that had these examination papers. Of course, Amina Mohammed came out clearly to assure candidates and parents and of course the entire country that this particular examination period will be a smooth process, and assuring parents and also of course candidates that all the students will sit for their examination without any hitches. Of course, also we spoke with Bernard Laparmarai, who is the Coast Regional coordinator here in Mombasa, of course also reiterating that security personnel have been deployed across all the coastal strip to ensure that security has been beefed up in respective examination centers across all the counties. Remember, here in Mombasa and of course other nearby counties, we have over 37,000 candidates sitting for their KCSE exams, of course with Kilifi County leading with over 13,515, followed by of course Mombasa, that is 8,635, and Taita Taveta with 5,224, Kwale 6,896, Tana River 1,727, Lamu 1,295. Of course, these are candidates who will be sitting for the examination across all the 596 examination centers in this particular coastal region. And right here I am outside Instikama group of schools, whereby I'm told that already the students, or rather the candidates, are sitting in for the exams. Here we have over 243 candidates sitting for this particular examination, and of course I'll try and have a word with one of the proprietors of this particular institution just to tell us how they prepared for this particular exercise, and of course to get to understand if at all the examination period has kicked off without any hitches or challenges at all. Just please, I'll ask you to come and join me here. Thank you so much for joining NTV Today. My first question, you'll introduce yourself first, but of course tell us, how did you prepare for this examination period, and have you experienced any challenges so far?
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim, alhamdulillah rabbil alamin, wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulil karim. Amma ba'du, kwa hakika jina langu naitwa Omar Sharif. Mimi ndio director wa Istikama Group of Schools. We have 4 schools in Coast entire. Mombasa, we have 247. And Malindi 21, and we have another center in Mombasa 21, and another center in Shikadabu 92. So far, I think there's no any problem. Alhamdulillah, tuko sawa sawa kabisa. Watu wamekuja. In fact, hata tulikuwa naye hapa sub-county director, even and sub-county commissioner was there. Everything is fine so far.
All the candidates are sitting in for the exams?
In fact, all the candidates, maybe I think 1 or 2 candidates, they are absent. You know, it's we have a big number, 247. For 2 candidates to be absent, to us it'll be it's just nothing. It's just like anything can happen. Maybe kuna anything ambacho kumeendelea, tujajua mpaka dakika hii. Two candidates are absent.
But of course, when we have missing candidates, of course that's something of great concern. Do we have any reasons why they did not show up for this, to sit for the examination?
So far there's no reason right now. Mpaka dakika hii hatujajua shida gani iko, lakini nafikiri tutafuatilia, tutajua namna gani kuna shida gani.
Mwajua kwenye wanaishi?
In fact tunajua wanaoishi, pia tunazo contact zao, lakini sasa ni mapema, bado hatujawajulia.
Na wazazi wao wamejaribu kuzungumza nao?
Ndio nasema bado ni mapema. In fact it's almost half an hour sasa imepita ndio tumeconfirm kwa the absent.
Tumekuwa na visa na changamoto haswa katika sekta ya elimu, mojawapo ikiwemo kwamba kuna baadhi ya wasichana ambao wameweza kupachikwa mimba, na baadhi yao wataweza kufanya mitihani yao katika hospitalini ama vile vile wakiwa shuleni, lakini wako na mimba. Hebu tueleze hizi changamoto mnashuhudia katika shule hii ya Instikama Group of Schools, na kama hamshuhudii, je, ni nini pengine ungedhania kwamba serikali inafaa kutekeleza ili kuhakikisha kwamba visa hivi havishuhudiwi tena nchini?
Okay, kusema kweli katika shule zetu bado hatujashuhudiwa na mambo kama hayo. Ni mambo tunasikia tu kwa TV na radio, kwa magazeti, kama huko up country na other counties, lakini hapa kwetu nafikiria we have in Istikama Group of Schools we have 377 students. Na so far hatuna kisa kama hicho kinaendelea kwetu.
But of course this also puts the future of a girl child in jeopardy. Ni nini haswa wadhania tunaweza wafanya ama kuambia wazazi wetu na pia wadau katika sekta ya elimu ili kuweza kutunza elimu na hasa kulingana na wasichana?
Kwa hakika hiyo ni changamoto kubwa kabisa. Ni changamoto katika kujua sasa in terms of population of the country, na umaskini inachangia, na pia utendaji kazi. Kwa hakika yakitokea ikifuatiliwa vizuri haya mambo yatapunguka inshallah.
So hapa unasema kwamba mtihani umeanza vizuri, kwa hakika kila kitu kiko shwari na mnatarajia kwamba kila kitu kitakamilika ilivyopangwa?
Mimi kwa hakika kwa upande wangu nina furaha sana tena sana. Namshukuru Mwenyezi Mungu kwa kuwa sisi tumeanza vizuri. Apart from tuna candidates wengi, lakini na mimi nasema sisi watoto wetu wataperform vizuri na tutakuwa katika top 10 katika Kenya mzima katika zile center ambazo mimi nazitarajia. Na mimi naambia hapa leo mwaniona hapa na mtaniona wakati wa result Mungu akipenda.
Hali ya usalama iko vipi?
Hali ya usalama iko shwari sana tena sana kabisa. Kwa hakika security iko very excellent. Hatuna shida na security.
Vile vile pia tumekuwa na changamoto, naona kwamba magari ya utumizi wa umma matatu kumekuwa na operation ambayo imekuwa ikiendelezwa na maafisa wa polisi kuweza kushika magari ambayo hayafai kuwa katika barabara ama pengine hayana leseni ama stakabadhi za kuwa barabarani. Na pia kumekuwa na changamoto kwa abiria ama wakazi wa eneo hili la Mombasa. Wengi wao nimeweza kushuhudia asubuhi wakitembea kwa miguu kutoka wanakoishi hadi maeneo mbalimbali wanakofanya kazi ama kuendeleza shughuli zao. Je, umeathirika na swala hilo?
Sisi kwa hakika tujaathirika kwa sababu wanafunzi wetu wengi wanatokea karibu na eneo, na masala ya magari kushikwa hayo ni kitu cha kawaida, si kitu ambacho kigeni katika Mombasa. Watu wanashikwa, magari yanashikwa na watu wanafika on time kazini, wanafika on time. Chitu na matukutuku ambao wanaendelea, tuna usafiri wa abiria wa kawaida. Kwa hivyo hakuna, naona kwetu si changamoto kitu kama hicho.
So kila kitu kiko shwari na utarajia kwamba kitakamilika vizuri?
Na hakika tena Mungu akijalia salama kitu itakuwa shwari tena shwari. Kwanza pia nataka kumpongeza waziri wetu ambaye tuko naye hapo katika idara ya elimu. Tunampongeza hali ya juu kabisa kwa hii kazi ambayo wanaifanya. Mungu ambarikie. Kwa hivyo hii ni kazi kubwa kuweza kushika hili dau la elimu, kwa sababu miaka kadhaa ilikuwa dau la elimu linapotea, lakini baada kushika yeye hatamu yake tunaona mambo ni mazuri kabisa.
Visa vyote vya udanganyifu tumeweza kuvishuhudia?
Hamna kabisa. Kwanza tulimaliza KCPE kwa usalama kabisa, kulikuwa hakuna udanganyifu hata tembe, na hii tunatarajia hakutokuwa na udanganyifu hata tembe moja, na hii ndio tutapata result za kihakika za mwanafunzi kwenda zake university awe na result zake za uhakika.
Na je, kama walimu na pengine wadau wa shule hii mmeweza kuwajibika kivipi ili kuhakikisha kwamba kutakuwa na udanganyifu wote katika mtihani huu wa KCSE?
Changamoto ambayo ilikuweko ni kusomesha mtoto, ni kubrainwash mtoto kuwa hakuna kitu ambacho utakipata. Haya tunakusomesha ndio yatakaokuja. Bila haya hakuna kitu kingine. Kwa hivyo watoto wote tushaweza kuwaelimisha kuwa hakuna kitu chochote kitatokea, ni hichi ile tuliyokusomesha sisi.
Shukran sana. Okay, that was one of the proprietors of this particular institution of Istikama group of schools. And of course I'll also try and get another resident just to have his view on this particular exercise of KCSE, and joining me here actually is one of them. Kwanza kabisa jitambulishe kwa majina alafu tueleze ni yapi unatarajia kutokana na mtihani huu wa KCSE.
Kwa majina naitwa Muhsin Ahmed Badawi. Na tunachotarajia ni watoto wafanye vizuri na wapite ili tuendeleze nchi yetu ya Kenya.
Naona wewe ni kijana na tumekuwa na changamoto sana. Kuna baadhi ya watahiniwa ambao ni wa kike wameweza kufanya mitihani yao wengine wakiwa na mimba ama tayari washawapokea watoto wao. Ni changamoto sana haswa ambayo ni pigo kubwa katika sekta ya elimu. Kama vijana, ni nini haswa nadhania inafaa kufanywa ili kuweza kumaliza swala hili?
Well, hiyo ni mitihani ya kimaisha wamepatikana nayo watoto hao wa kike, but what we need to do is ni lazima tuwe na wao pamoja, tusiwatupe, tusiwadiscriminate in the society. We should always be together with them, tuweze kuwasaidia kimaisha na wapate elimu, wafanye mtihani na wao kama wanafunzi wengine. Whatever has happened to them, hiyo kuhusu swala la mambo ya mimba na nini ni mambo ya kawaida, na isa mistake imepatikana katika maisha yao. Kwa hiyo
hatuwezi sema ni jambo la kawaida, kwa sababu huu ni msichana ambaye si haki yake na si bora aweze kufanya mtihani wake akiwa na mtoto pale hospitalini ama akiwa na mimba pale darasani. Si jambo la busara, na si kulingana na Wizara ya Elimu inasema kwamba wale wanaotekeleza ama wale wahalifu ama wahusika wanafaa kutiwa mbaroni. Lakini ni haswa kama sisi vijana, ni jambo ambalo la kusikitisha sana. Na nini, kama maoni yako unaweza tupa, ni kwamba ni nini haswa inafaa kufanywa kama sisi vijana ili kuweza kupunguza visa hivi?
La msingi, mwanzo wazazi na jamii iwe tutashirikiana na tuweze kushirikiana na serikali, especially kwa vitengo vya usalama, tuweze kupigana nao watu wenye kuharibu watoto na wachukulie hatua kali za kisheria ili hili jambo likomeshwe, na vijana wana watoto wapate haki zao za elimu, cause it's a right ya mtoto kusoma kwa kila mtoto. Kwa hiyo naomba serikali ichukue hatua kwa watu wenye kufanya kuharibu watoto.
Okay, Ken, let me also try and get some other views from one of the residents, of course, here in Mombasa. It is a major concern here. Remember that recently I did a story on teen pregnancies in the neighboring county of Kilifi. And according to some of the people interviewed there, they're saying that the number of cases that are currently being reported in that particular region is alarming, and of course calling for proper measures to be done to ensure that teen pregnancies in schools are addressed. Remember, Amina Mohammed also gave us an interview this morning, and she said that already the government has one teacher in custody, of course, from Wajir County. The teacher was arrested in connection to teenage pregnancies, of course, saying that more action will be taken to ensure that these kind of cases will be addressed and resolved. Of course, saying that there's a policy that the Ministry of Education, of course, is working on and will be rolled out in good time to ensure that, of course, the future of the girl child will be catered for. And of course, let me just get back to one of the residents, of course, and discuss these issues affecting the education sector in Mombasa and, of course, the neighboring counties of the coastal strip. Kwanza kabisa ningependa ujitambulishe kwa majina, alafu kuna swala hapa la wasichana wamefanya mtihani yao, wengine wao wakiwa hospitalini, wengine wao wakiwa shuleni na mimba. Je, ni swala ambalo linataka kusuluhishwa ama kutatuliwa na serikali? Je, kama kijana, ni nini hasa ungeza pendekeza serikali ili iweze kutekeleza katika kupunguza visa hivi?
Naam, kwa majina mimi naitwa Isaac Otieno Molo. Niko Mombasa, hapa ndio makao makuu. Na kulingana na swala hili ya watoto kuwa wagonjwa, lazima wafanye bidii kama serikali, wajitahidi, kwa sababu mambo ya mtihani yanakuja kwa mwaka. Lazima wafanye bidii ili watoto wapate bidii ya kufanya mtihani, waende nyumbani wakiwa wamefurahi. Kitu cha pili, naomba Mwenyezi Mungu Subhanahu wa Ta'ala awezeshe wapate nguvu ya kufanya ile mtihani na waje wenye kupasi.
Swali nimekuuliza ni hili swala la wasichana kufanya mtihani wakiwa na mimba ama watoto. Ni swala la kusikitisha sana. Ni nini hasa ungeza pendekeza serikali iweze kutekeleza ili kupunguza visa hivi, ikilinganishwa kwamba kuna baadhi ya wahusika ambao tayari wako mafichoni, wanasakwa na maafisa wa polisi, lakini ni ushirikiano ambao pengine sisi kama wakazi, wazazi tunafaa kuwa nayo, tushikana vitengo vya usalama ili kuweza kuwanasa wahusika hao. Ni nini hasa ungeza pendekeza serikali itekeleze katika kupunguza visa hivi?
Kwanza kabisa, swala hilo inafaa chukuliwe hatua, kwa sababu walimu ambao wanahusika wao wanachukuliwa kisha baadaye wanaachwa kigafla. Mwalimu anapelekwa kotini, after koti unasikia mwalimu ameachwa, ambapo yule mwanafunzi ashaumia tayari, amepoteza mambo makubwa katika maisha yake, ashaharibiwa masomo yake, na future yake kabisa imeharibika. Kwa hivyo naomba watu wazima ambao wanafanya jambo kama hili wajue ya kwamba hatua inachukuliwa na serikali itie manani. First, Mr. President atie manani swala hili, kwa sababu watoto ni watoto wetu. Wakati wanaumia, ni sisi jamii tunaumia. Actually, sasa zingine unaweza kupata mtoto wako form 1, form 2 ameshika mimba ile hali hajafikisha hata form 4. Hiyo swala lazima tunaomba serikali itie manani.
Pia kuna changamoto ya baadhi ya wazazi ambao pengine baadhi yao wanasema wangependa ama wanakataa hatua ya kwenda mahakamani ama kuwachukulia sheria ama hatua za kisheria wahusika. Baadhi ya wazazi wanaonelea ni kwamba afadhali watatue swala hili kinyumbani bila kuhusisha mahakama ama idara za usalama. Kama wazazi, je, unaona kama pengine wanatepetea ama wanakosa kuwajibikia swala hili vilivyo?
Swala hili si wazazi kufanya nyumbani. Hii ni mambo ya serikali, kwa sababu serikali ndio wanawajibika kusaidia wanafunzi ili wapate maisha bora, na bila elimu hakuna maisha. Dunia nzima sasa hivi vile tuko, elimu ndio inatuongoza, hasa Kenya. Kenya inajulikana Europe, Amerika kwamba ni nchi ya elimu. Kwa hivyo lazima tufanye bidii, na wazazi lazima pia wachukuliwe hatua kwa mambo haya.
Na kama mkazi wa Mombasa umeweza kusikia changamoto yote kuhusu mtihani huu wa KCSE?
Changamoto ambayo iko kwa KCSE, wanafunzi wengine wamekuwa wagonjwa kweli unavyosema, na wengine wamekufa kigafla. Tuseme Kenya nzima wamepata mtihani kupitia kwa wanafunzi wengine kigafla namna hiyo. Kwa hivyo tunawaombea Mungu wale ambao wamebaki wanafanya mtihani watie bidii, na sisi pia tutafurahi wakipita salama, na sisi tutaenjoy our life.
Shukran. That was one of the residents in this county of Mombasa. Ken, I can authoritatively report that according to the various schools that we visited from 6 a.m. After opening the examination container at the County Commissioner's office with the CS Education, Amina Mohammed, of course, we've gone to these particular schools, and I can report to you that, rather to also our viewers and also Kenyans at large, that examinations are smoothly going on. Students are sitting for their papers, theories, and of course, we're expecting them to pass this particular examination period, of course, performing well. That performance is, of course, of key concerns here, and of course, with government officials who came down here in Mombasa assured them that their security will be, they'll be safe during the entire examination period. And of course, Amina Mohammed also coming out clearly that it is an opportunity for them, of course, to come out and shine, and of course seek further education after high school, because she said that after high school, that is not the end of everything. Of course, we have other institutions of higher learning that, of course, these particular students will be able to go to seek higher learning. From here in the county of Mombasa, Ken, that is just what we have so far, but of course we will be keeping an eye on, of course, other issues happening across the coastal counties, and we will be back to you and also to our viewers with more information from this coastal city of Mombasa. Back to you, Ken.
Right, Kevin Mutai, very comprehensive indeed from the county of Mombasa, county 001. Thank you indeed. We'll be speaking to Kevin later. He's headed to another location to find out how the exam started. But Kevin spoke to something that I want to talk about also just briefly, the issue of teenage pregnancies and student pregnancies and how they're doing the exams. Suffice to say that on page 2 of today's Daily Nation, if you have not gotten your copy, you can check it out. This is about 30 pregnant girls set to miss KCSE exam test. Now, this coming just at the back of the 31 others that were also unable to do their KCPE exams. Now, it said that more than 30 Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education candidates in Narok County will not sit the examinations today that began this morning due to early pregnancies. Now, this adds to the number to over 60 cases of teenage pregnancies witnessed across the country after another 31 failed to sit for their KCPE examinations the last week. All right, this is a story that we're giving emphasis. This is just from 2 areas, and that's Narok. The 30 pregnant girls are from Narok. And look at the story just up here before that story. Now, Commission asked staff on errand teachers ahead of national exams. About 45 teachers have been arrested and others have been suspended for up to 6 months in connection with irregularities in last year's examination in one of the worst crackdowns against cheating in recent times. So these are stories that we are keeping our eye on as KCSE progresses, and definitely if we have such stories, we'll definitely be telling you those stories, but hopefully they will not be witnessed. All right, time now to move to some of the stories that we have for you on this day. As we told you, it's not only KCPE, it's also, KCSE, it's also about transport. We're trying to get our report on the ground to talk to us about the transport situation in the capital and around the capital. But first, let's talk about what we have on our diary. After 4 years of preparations, the day is finally here. That's today, the 5th of November. The Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education examination kicked off this morning. Some 664,585 candidates are expected to take the test. Now, candidates today started with mathematics, paper 1 and 2, and later in the afternoon, they will tackle chemistry. Now, the candidates will be eyeing close to 100,000 slots in 70 public and private universities in the country, while those who will not make it or make to the cut are likely to join technical colleges around the country. And Equity Group is holding its investor briefing to announce its third quarter results. The bank has posted 18% rise after tax profit of 11 billion shillings on increased interest earnings and cost management measures. Now, Equity becomes the first bank to announce the financials at a time the lenders are keen in the shape of their loan books, with the interest rate capping law remaining in place despite the industry's spirited effort to have a review on the rates. And also, the Kenya Chamber of Mines will be holding a press conference ahead of the mining forum right here in the capital. The conference is focusing on mining investment opportunities in the country and will run for 2 days from November 12th. Now, part of the discussions will be looking at the financing and regulatory challenges in the small-scale sector. Well, those are the stories that we have on our diary and we're following up for you. But there are other stories that we're keeping our eyes closed and we have to bring them at the end of the day to you. Now, this includes the bodies of the 2 students who drowned in River Yala at the weekend are yet to be found. Family and friends are hoping the wait will soon be over, as they who have already spent 2 nights camping near the river banks. By last evening, our reporter in Kisumu, that's Oko Kusa, visited the families of Derek, Oko and Charlotte. Is that Charlotte Atieno? Yeah, Charlotte Atieno, whose bodies have not yet been found after they were swept downstream by the raging waters. We are definitely keeping our eye on that developing story, and Oko Kusa will be still reporting on that. And let's talk about the China-Kenya relations. President Uhuru Kenyatta is in China as China agrees to open its market to Kenyan goods. Now, Kenya industries are demanding protection. This is obviously from the influx of Chinese goods flooding the Kenyan market. Now, President Kenyatta has been holding talks with his counterpart Xi Jinping to resolve the trade imbalance, which is heavily tilted in favor of China. Now, Kenyan officials say they see signs that China could provide support for the extension of the standard gauge railway to Kisumu. Right. Let's go back to the county of Migori. Bernard Ojwang is still on standby, different location, but over the same things. And mark you, the Deputy President William Ruto is expected in the county of Migori. Let's speak about that first with Bernard. Bernard, welcome back to the program. Let's talk about the visit by Deputy President William Ruto. Where is he expected, and why is this visit significant, and why at this time?
Well, thank you very much, Ken. As you've just said, we are still here in Masara, Suna West constituency, where Deputy President William Ruto is expected any time from now. Remember, Deputy President William Ruto will be having a busy schedule here in the region. He will be touring Migori County. He will be also touring Homa Bay County. In Migori County, Deputy President William Ruto will be commissioning construction of Keancha Muhuru Road here there at Nyabisawa, and also thereafter he will be commissioning street lights here at Masara. As you can see behind me, you are seeing that pole there. He will be commissioning these, and also again later he will be visiting. He will be talking to Mihuru Bay residents, whereby he will be launching the same project. He will proceed again to Homa Bay County, where he will be welcomed by Karachuonyo MP Dipo Kwame, where he will be also launching some projects there. And now we will be talking to some of the locals here, Migori County residents, just to tell us what are their expectations following this visit of Deputy President William Ruto. Join me here.
Yes, thank you.
You'll start with your name. Utangalia kamera pale. What do you expect?
My name is Kobe Wycliffe. Youth kutoka Migori County, Suna West Sub-County. Ningependa kumwahidi naibu wa President William Ruto, asante sana kwa kuletea project nzuri katika hii county. Na tungependa pia angalia mradi mwingine yenye inaweza kusaidia vijana waendelee tena wakuwe watu wazuri, wabadilike kwa maisha yao. Halafu ya pili, tena tungependa ili sisi kama vijana tuachane na mambo ya siasa, tuungane pamoja, tuangalie mradi, tulete mradi katika hii county hii.
Wewe kama kijana youth kutoka eneo hili, nini ungependa aangazie kwa kina sana?
Kwa kina sana, stima iende kwa mashinani, kwa kila boma mashinani, ili kila mtu apate mwangaza nzuri. Yes.
We'll talk to another person. Join me up. Nini unatarajia Deputy President amewatembelea siku ya leo? Nini unatarajia kutoka kwa hii matembezi yake?
Okay, kwa majina naitwa John Were Ondiek. Ninakaa katika eneo ya Nyatike. Tumekuwa na shida mingi kabisa, na wakati Deputy President anafika hivi, tunatarajia kutakuwa na mabadiliko mengi. Kuhusu hii barabara ya kutoka Migori kuelekea Meru, naona tumekaribia Tanzania. Hapo kutafanya maendeleo ikaweze kuwa zaidi, na sisi kama vijana tukaweze kuendelea. Jambo la pili, tumekuwa na shida zaidi, na wale ambao wamekuwa kwenye hiyo shida ni vijana. Unaona hii mambo ya migingo imesumbua watu wengi, na wale ambao wamekuwa wakikamatwa wamekuwa vijana. Sasa unaona wakati Deputy President atakuwa anafika, yeye ako katika hali nzuri kabisa ya kushughulikia hiyo neno. Kwa hivyo tunataka wakati atakuwa anafika ashughulikie mambo ya migingo. Jambo la tatu, hii eneo tunafanya mining. Wakati tunafanya mining, watu wengi wanakufa zaidi. Tunataka ili kiwango cha kifo kipungue. Tunataka ili tukaweze kuletewa mashini za kisasa, ili tukaweze kuona vile tunaweza kufanya kazi kwa wepesi. Sasa kuna mambo matatu ambayo nimeweza kuyaongea ili wakati deputy atakuwa anafika akaweze kuyashughulikia. Kuna barabara pia inatuunganisha na upande wa Suba. Hii inatoka Masara ukipitia Nyatike uende mpaka Sori, uende mpaka Suba. Naona hiyo barabara imekaa muda mrefu kabla haijashughulikiwa. Kuna masimu ambayo inastahili tupande tu ndizi kwa hiyo barabara. Sasa wakati DPUT anakuja inastahili kaweze kuangalia, kwa sababu tunajua historia yake. Kila mara napotembelea eneo kuna mabadiliko na maendeleo ambayo yanakuja. Kwa hivyo wakati anakuja tunatarajia hizo zikaweze kufanyika na tuendelee pamoja, kwa sababu sisi pia ni wana Kenya. Saizi sio wakati wa kupiga siasa, saizi ni wakati wa kutengeneza maendeleo. Ikifika wakati wa uchaguzi tutaangalia. Hiyo ndio neno ambao ningeweza kumwambia, hayo maneno manne.
Na pengine hebu leo anakuja kuzindua barabara hii, na pengine unaona italeta mabadiliko aina gani katika jimbo hili, hii barabara ya Kihancha Meru?
Kutakuwa na wepesi kabisa, kwa sababu tunajua vitu vingi vinatoka Tanzania. Wakati hii barabara itakuwa imefunguliwa, kuna vitu vingi vitakuwa vinaingia. Jambo nikimalizia upande wa stima, hii eneo imekuwa na shida zaidi kwa upande wa wizi. Kila mara wizi. Sasa wakati tutakuwa na mwangaza, wizi hautaweza kuweko, kwa sababu mwizi hawezi kuwa kwa mwangaza, atakuwa anatoroka.
Kwa hivyo vile amekuja, mnatarajia mengi zaidi.
Kuna mabadiliko mengi kabisa. Wakati atakuwa amefika, tutakuwa na mabadiliko zaidi.
Asante sana. We'll talk to another person. Habari yako mzee?
Mzuri. Wewe mzima? Ndio siku leo ndio Ruto anakuja hapa. Ndio, sisi tunakaribisha yeye aingie kabisa, tena tukue naye pamoja. Hapana iko sisi yote tunamfuata. lakini maendeleo inakuja hapa, watengenezee sisi system na kutakuwa masara hapa, tunasema asante sana. Na sisi tunataka kila kitu hiyo inatoka huko juu, naye tukawishe watu wote, wakila Wajaluo kabila gani anampa muda pana pendeleza mtu ati huyu ni kabila nyingine. Sisi ni kabila moja tu. Sisi tunataka tumukarabishe yote, watu wakarabishe, tukue ni kitu kimoja. Lugha ndio namba sisi, ni kila mtu Mjaluo, lakini kwa sura yetu sisi ni Waafrika yote.
Asante sana. We'll speak to another person here, Ken. Okay, Deputy William Ruto is expected here anytime from now. Pengine nyinyi mnatarajia nini?
Tumefurahi sana kama wakaaji wa Masara. Kitu kama hii tujaiona hapa Masara. Naibu Rais tumemkaribisha kwa shangwe na nderemo. Mambo ya handshake, mambo ya siasa, naibu aaje. Atufanyie maendeleo vile ameshafanya hivi. Penye kuna stima mashinani ni kwetu nyumbani. Stima imeingia kwetu saizi. Tena tumefurahi sana. Sasa barabara imetoka kutokea Migori hadi karibu Nyandema. Tunatarajia Mheshimiwa Rais aipeleke hadi Miuru. Ikifika Miuru hapa saizi tuko na shida ya nini? Ya nauli. Kutoka Migori hadi Masara ni shilingi 150. Na tunatarajia ifike shilingi 50 tukitoka Masara hadi Migori. Hiyo naibu rais tumemshukuru sana kabisa.
Asante sana. I'll speak to another person here. You'll start with the name. Pengine nyinyi mnatarajia nini?
Kwa majina ni Bernard Olira Ngwech. Niko na maneno kidogo tu juu ya Deputy President. Tunamkaribisha hapa Masara, akuje kwa haraka tumuone, lakini maendeleo tunahitaji. Amefanya vizuri zaidi kuleta stima. Tulikuwa kwa giza na mwanzo ya binadamu ni light. Akikuwa kwa mwanga ndiye anasikia vizuri. Hiyo ni mizuri. Lakini kitu kimoja afanye, atuangalie maneno ya gold. Kwa sababu hapa maendeleo yetu na pesa ile tuweza tupate pesa in maneno ya gold. Kama kuna gold hakuna pesa. Hiyo wa vijana wanaweza kufanya mambo zingine mbaya. Sasa angalia hiyo maneno ya gold kabisa kushinda kila kitu, kwa sababu hiyo ndio mapatio yetu ya hapa Masara. Hakuna mapato mengine tena ya hapa Masara kushinda gold. Ama ni aje vijana? Ingine ya pili, hata kwa manyumba zetu hizi boma zetu zote, atulete mwangaza. Hatuwezi tushindwa kulipa pesa ya sitima. Sasa weke kwa boma watu wapate mwangaza. Hiyo ndio tunaitarajia huyo president atuletee hiyo maendeleo. Ndio 2022 tukimuona, tunamuona na macho mbili. Hatuwezi muona kwa macho moja sababu ameleta vitu vizuri kwa hii boma yetu. Aache maneno ya ukabila si yeye hao ni Wajaluo, siji hao ni watu wa aina nani. Hapana, sisi tuko na president pamoja. Sababu sasa hivi wanafanya kazi pamoja na Mjaluo. Ama wako tofauti. Wakikuja hapo wakuja tu kama Mjaluo, asikuje kama mkabila mwingine. Sasa hiyo kitu ndio angalia zaidi, hiyo ndio mahitaji yetu zaidi ni maneno ya gold. Sababu inaua sisi hapa, alate zile mashini tunaweza chimba nayo huko chini, ile inaweza toa maji juu, sababu maji ndio inaua watu. Hakuna kitu inaua mtu kwenye shimo kushinda maji, sababu huko naenda mbali. Sababu unaenda futi sasa hata 200 ukiingia ndani ya shimo. Unaenda unapata maji huko, unatumia ile generator ile inatoa moshi, hiyo moshi na kufunika hiyo hewa inakuwa huko ndani. Sasa tunaangalia maneno ya gold zaidi kushinda kila kitu ni gold.
Asante sana. We'll talk to another person here. You'll start with the name. Pengine nyinyi mnatarajia nini?
Mimi ni Moses Omondi Otieno. Nimefurahi sana siku ya leo vile tumetembelewa kama watu wa Migori. Asa kama sisi wana youth tunafurahi sana kwa Deputy President vile ametutembelea leo. Ameleta maendeleo ya stima, ameleta maendeleo ya barabara. Tumefurahi kama wa vijana sana. Sasa hata atuletea hata maendeleo ya maji pia alete maji kubwa yenye hata wananchi watatumia. Tuko na shida ya maji hapa. Alete hata maji ya stima yenye anapigiwa tank juu watu wanakuja wanatumia.
Ile wamekuja kuzindua hii barabara itawasaidia nyinyi inawasaidia vipi nyinyi kama wakazi wa hapa?
Tutafurahi sana kama sahi kutoka Miuru samaki itatoka kwa urahisi ifike town, watu wakule samaki kama bado ni mzuri, kama bado iko fresh. Kwa maana kitambo kama barabara ilikuwa mbaya, kufika Migori itakuwa inachukua 5 hours. Sasa hii unachukua samaki kama bado iko fresh, inafika mapema. Sasa tumefurahia sana kama wakazi wa Migori, tumefurahia sana kama wana youth. Tumefurahi sana na tumependa hata 2022. Tunafurahi sasa hii sio wakati ya siasa. Wenye wanaongea maneno ya siasa watuletee maendeleo, wasituletee maneno ya siasa. Tumesikia wengine wa Migori wanaanza siasa mingi, wanasema eti Deputy Ruto anafanya siasa, na hiyo nastumu kabisa kama youth. Nastumu wenye wanaongea kuhusu siasa ya Deputy President. Tunastumu sana, watuletee maendeleo, waache wananchi wafuate wale wenye wako na maendeleo. Wenye wanaongea waongee siasa yao. Watu wache tufuate mtu mwenye ako na maendeleo. Kama wanataka kuleta maendeleo waletee wananchi maendeleo. Na lakini wasitufanye tunafuata maneno mengine, tunaacha maendeleo.
Asante sana. We'll talk to another person here. William Ruto, Deputy President William Ruto is here. He will be here anytime soon. Tell us, ni nini mnatarajia kutoka kwa hii pengine kuzuri kwake?
Mimi nimeshukuru sana. Kwanza naitwa John Odera. Tumeshukuru sana kwa vile DPP anatutembelea siku ya leo hapa sehemu za Migori County, eneo bunge la Suna West and Nyatike. Na tumefurahi sana kwa sababu hii barabara yetu ambaye amekuja kutufungulia itatusaidia sana. Huwa watu wengi wanatoka Meuru Bay kwa bei kali kama wakati hii barabara hii kutengenezwa. Lakini kwa vile imetengenezwa, afadhali tunapata nafuu. Hata ukiweka kitu yako, ukitaka enda kuuza Migori kama town kubwa, utapelekwa kwa bei nafuu. Ya pili, hii barabara itatusaidia sana sana wavuvi wa baharini, huwa watapata nafuu yao vile wanaweza kuendesha vitu zao iende haraka ama kuenda mahali zingine. Kwa hivyo zamani tulikuwa na shida ambayo kama sisi watu wa Migori baharini huko, samaki ilikuwa inaoza mengi kwa sababu barabara ilikuwa mbaya. Na vile hii barabara ilitengenezwa, hakika tunarudisha asante sana kwa national government ya kwamba hii barabara imetusaidia sana sana sana. Kwa vile tunataka tuombe wenye wameingiza hii miradi ya maendeleo kwa siasa wakome, kwa sababu sisi kama vijana ndio tunaumia. Na sisi ndio tunataka tufaidike kwa serikali. Wakati serikali wanapigana na watu wengine ambao wanatoka eneo yetu, sisi wenyewe kama raia ndio tunaumia. Ya pili, tunataka niombe DPP ya kwamba hii eneo bunge ya Suna West hapa ni Masara. Tunawaomba sana hii eneo, kazi yao ambayo wanafanya kulingana na mahitaji yao ni goldi. Sasa tunawaomba ya kwamba kila mara watu huwa wanakufa kwa sababu ya pump ya generator na vitu zingine yenye mtetemeko ya ardhi. So tunaomba DPP kwa hiari yake na vile tumejua roho yake,
ni nini mngependa aangazie?
Tulikuwa tunataka atusaidie kwa hii mashini yenye inapigwa na stima ambayo inasaidia watu kutoa mchanga huko chini, watu wetu wawe na nafuu. Afadhali rudishe vifo vya watu wetu chini. Kwa hivyo tumerudisha asante, na tunakataa mambo ya siasa kwa hii mradi ya maendeleo. Vile wengine wabunge wetu walikuwa wanasema William Ruto atutufanyie vizuri, uamuzi wetu kama raia itatokea 2022 vile governor yetu Kokoto bado ameamua kuendelea naye. Asante sana.
Well, thank you very much. Speak to Songa hapa mzee. Okay, could you just please pengine hebu tueleze ni nini mngependa rais Deputy President rais azungumzie?
Tunashukuru kwa mzee William Ruto, anatusaidia kila kitu. Tunashukuru sana. Sisi ni pongezi tu basi. Ni pongezi yetu tu. Tunaomba asante, pongezi tu basi. Mimi yangu machache tu basi.
Asante sana. Ni nini mngependa Deputy President aangazie anapozungumza?
Mimi kwanza kwa majina ninaitwa Alex Nyamanga. Natoka eneo bunge la Nyatike. Kwanza nimefurahi sana kwa kuja kwa Deputy President wetu, na namtarajia kabisa ataleta mambo mengi zaidi. Lakini kitu cha muhimu ningependa ili extend hii tarmac road kwa sababu haijafika Meru. Sasa tunahitaji kwa extend mpaka Meru ifike, kwa sababu Nyatike huwa hatuna tarmac road. Sasa tunatarajia akija ata extend hiyo barabara ifike Meru. Hiyo tu ndio naweza nikasema sahi, kwa sababu sisi kama vijana huwa kwa mara nyingi mimi binafsi ni mfanya biashara, lakini kama hatuna barabara hatuwezi tukafanya biashara.
Yeah. Well, thank you very much. Ken, I'll speak to another person here. Nini? Toa kofia. Nini ungependa naibu wa rais William Ruto azungumzie alipo maybe atakapofika hapo?
Mimi nataka nikuambia naibu rais, hii mambo ya stima nataka niende mpaka Osago, kwa sababu hii mwangaza nataka nifike Osago kabisa. Tena nataka hii mambo ya stima ifike mpaka Godkweru na Mikei na Nabakulu. Sasa mimi nataka nimwambie naibu wa rais, hii barabara ya kutoka Masara kwenda Sori ndio mbaya sana. Atengeneze hiyo barabara, kwa sababu hiyo barabara ndio muhimu sana. Asante sana.
Asante sana. Naibu wa rais amefika hapa. Anafika hapa siku ya leo. Nini ungependa kutarajia? Nini mnatarajia?
Watu ubi. Waere kabisa.
Asante sana.
Asante sana. Mimi natoa shukrani zangu kwa naibu wa rais kwa kuja hapa, kwa kuwa yeye ndiye kiongozi ambaye amekuja hapa mara ya kwanza. Hakuna kiongozi mwingine ambaye amekuja, na tumeshukuru kwa kuja kwake, kwa kuleta miradi ya stima na kila ambayo tungemuomba kwa ajili ya mambo yetu ambayo tunashughulika hapa ya gold. Watu wa middlemen wanatupunja sana, wafanye juhudi, walete miradi hiyo watu wa investment waangalie bei ya gold. Ya pili, mradi ya lami imefaa sana kwa serikali ya juzi na ya leo, kwa maana wamefanya juhudi sana. Nataka sisi tunaomba ifike huko baharini ili maendeleo ya hapa inuke. Ya tatu, waangalie mambo ya bei ya samaki. Watu wa middlemen wanapunja watu wa samaki, na kwa kuwa hiyo mradi iko kwa Migori County, watu wa hapa tunapunjwa sana, kwa maana samaki inabebwa. Hata sisi siku hizi hatupati hata samaki ya kula, tunakula tu omena. Asante sana.
Asante sana. Well, Ken, thank you very much. Ken, you've just heard from Masara residents. They are saying they have a lot of points that they want Deputy President to address. First, they want Deputy President to talk about the issue of Migingo. They are saying that for a very long time, the country, the fishermen there in Migingo Highland have been suffering. They are being mistreated by Uganda security officers, and they want that to be addressed. Another issue here they want Deputy President William Ruto to address is the issue of gold mine. They are saying that for a very long time they have been losing their lives here, and they want this process be done in a modern way. They need machines so as to ensure that they prevent the deaths that usually occur, especially during rainy seasons. Then another thing here, they want politicians. They are appealing to politicians from this region, especially South Nyanza, to stop politicizing Ruto's visit to this region, saying that they should allow Deputy President Ruto to do development, bring development to Migori and Homa Bay County residents here, so as to enjoy the benefits of national government. Back to you.
Right, Bernardo Juang from Masara is still in Masara. That's where Deputy President William Ruto is expected. So many needs, so little resources. And of course the question is, what have the area leaders been doing all this while? This is complaining of things that the area leaders should have sorted out. But let's see, Deputy President William Ruto will be on the ground. Now, yesterday he was somewhere else in Western Kenya. We'll hear by the end of the day what he says in Masara and which leaders are going to accompany him. All right, in the next hour, we are going to be looking at transport, the paralysis in the capital. We will be speaking to our reporter who's been doing a situation check around the CBD. to see where people are stranded. We also understand there's a press conference later on by the owners of those public transport vehicles. It's all about the return of Michuki rules and the timeline for the implementation. We're coming back to talk to Charity Waweru at the top of the hour, but now NTV Today takes a short break. We'll be right back. Stay with us and stay right here. And welcome back to NTV Today. Well, it's the 5th of November, the beginning of the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education. We're doing a situation check around the country, and so far from Mombasa, Migori and Muranga, things are okay, and the examination began on time, but there'll be stories at the end of the day. We are keeping our eye on the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education examination, as we are told that about 30 other students, girls, will miss sitting for their examination due to early pregnancies and marriages. So right, that's one of the stories we're following up for you. The other one is what's happening around the CBD on your roads, the return of the Michuki rules and the protests thereof. And the protests are about the fact that the timeline is short, according to the matatu owners. Let's now speak to Charity, who's been doing a situation check around the CBD to see what's happening. Charity, good morning. And of course, we know a lot of commuters this morning were complaining, no transport. The vehicles are off the road. Yesterday, there was an operation. What of today, Charity?
Good morning, Ken. Yes, we are here along Jago Road, and we are seeing a very, very hopeless situation because most of the commuters have had to walk to work, and so far you can see along the road, most of the vehicles on the road are personal vehicles, because every person with a moving vehicle has it on the road just to help him get to work. There are very few commuter vehicles that apparently have complied, and the drivers and the matatu operators are confident that they will not have trouble with law enforcement officers. We have been able to chat with a few of the boda operators who apparently have been making a killing from morning, and we are going to talk to some of them, one of whom will tell us about how the situation has been on the road, and we are going to find out whether or not they have been able to benefit from this situation. Habari yako? Kumekuwaje kutoka asubuhi?
Kutoka asubuhi kumekuwa kuko hivi. Watu wamedhokoma ndio, lakini magari zinajua zikifungana pia watu waendi sana na magari. Sasa inabidi watu wanakanyaga tu mguu.
Na umeona kutoka saa ngapi na train imekuwa operational? Situation imekuwa aje watu wakijaribu kufika kazini?
Watu waliamka mapema saa 10, watu wamekuwa chini, watu wakingangana wakijaribu kwenda Wera. Train imepiga mara 2 iende ikirudi. Watu wamekuwa wakienjoy hiyo train tu, upande wa train ndio imekuwa watu.
Na in any other situation, train inakuanga inoperate how many times in a day?
Jua inalingana. Kuna saa 1:30, kuna saa 1:40, na kuna saa 3.
Na leo imekuwa tofauti kivipi?
Leo imekuwa tofauti juu unapata saa 1 inaenda mara 2, inaenda inarudi saa 5, kama ni saa 1:30 inarudi saa 4 hapo. Saa 3:30 iko tu bado.
Yes, Ken, you can see how difficult it has been for Kenyans to get to work today. And behind me, you can see droves of people still trying to get to work. On the other side, the petrol station right behind me, there are matatus that have been parked there because maybe perhaps they know very well that they are not compliant of the rules. And so I look at the rules that the matatus are expected to comply with. One of them is that they are supposed to have the yellow line around the vehicle. They are also supposed to have all the personnel uniformed and their pictures displayed on the screen, on the windscreen. Also, they are also supposed to fit their vehicles with speed governors and also safety belts. According to following of this developing story yesterday, we found out that most of the commuters going to church yesterday were arrested for not using their safety belts, and according to the rules, every passenger who is found without having belted themselves up, they will be able to pay a fine of 500 shillings. We are trying to find some of them to talk to us, but it has been really difficult difficult because, of course, they are trying to beat the rush and to battle the challenge of going to work. You can see on this side of my left hand, most of the stage or areas of catching the matatus are full, and so we can be sure that this situation will continue for the better part of the week. Most of the matatu operators are saying that the set date that was on the 12th of November, that these rules were supposed to start being observed, has not yet lapsed. And so they do not understand why the transport officials are giving them a hard time. We have successfully been able to find one brave commuter and who can spare us a few minutes to tell us how the situation has been for him since morning. Habari yako?
Nzuri sana.
Uliamka saa ngapi na umekuwa kwa stage kutoka saa ngapi?
Nimeamka saa 1, ilifaa niende Mjengo. Sasa nimekaa hapa tangu saa 1, tumengoja ngara hakuna. Sasa hata sijui vile nitafanya kazi. Tumengoja, hakuna magari. Ukiuliza nini, ukienda kwa gari yenye available, wanakuambia mnyapa mpaka town. Penye tunalipanga 30 bob. Sasa imenishinda vile naenda saa hii kazi.
Na hii imekuwa situation, imekuwa affect kivipi? Umeongea na boss wako kazini na una anticipate hii wiki itakuwaje kwa Wakenya?
Okay, boss amenitumia text akasema kama uingii kazi, hata usiingie juu. Ni kama amechukulia nimegunia kuenda kazi. But in real sense ni mambo na fair. Sasa sijui kama watanifuta ama nini. Inafaa niingie kazi saa 1 na saa hii sijaingia bado.
Na matatu ambazo zimekuwa njiani, umeona ni kama zina ni ngapi hivi? Umekuwa hapa kwa stage muda mrefu, unaona kama hii situation ita affect wa Kenya kivipi? Kwani hizi magari zina service watu wengi hapa katika hii town ya Nairobi.
Okay, magari yenye imekuwa leo imekuwa kidogo sana. Imekuwa magari kidogo, sasa hata most watu wengi hawajaenda kazi. Hata vile unaona tumesimama hapo almost 2 hours. Hakuna gari yenye available. Yenye available bei ni kama yote, nafikiri unaenda kununua plot. Yeah.
Pole na tunakutakia safari njema, ufike kazini salama.
Sawa.
Yes, Ken, you can see that is the situation. If you can look at the stretch of the road, you can see that most of the vehicles are personal vehicles, and so we are assuming that some of them are Uber or Taxify and the other taxi service vehicles, and also personal vehicles of people who have had them maybe in their houses because of the high cost of fuel. But now we are seeing most Kenyans pulling out their vehicles on the road, and this is really affecting the traffic situation in Nairobi. On any other day, this time this road would have been clear, but as you can see, the situation is very, very, very difficult for commuters who are trying to make it to work, and we hope that the situation can be resolved or a solution can be arrived at soon. Ken.
Right, Charity, were very interesting indeed. It's indeed a nightmare for the commuters there. And of course, you have mentioned, Charity, that the rules were supposed to take effect on 12th of November this month, and the operators are wondering why it's come early. Perhaps, Charity, the question that you should have asked them is, the Michuki rules have been in place since 2003, and at no point were they suspended, so the rules have been enforced. It's just that they decided to go around the rules. So it's not even a notice that was announced by CS Matiang'i and James Macharia just the other day. But thank you indeed, Charity Waweru, speaking to us from Jogoo Road, where commuters are stranded and the only vehicles on the road are personal vehicles and perhaps other commercial other than the vehicles that are used by passengers. That's the PSV vehicles. All right, that's one of the stories that is top, and we're following up for you. And we'll definitely, Charity is headed to another location. If she'll not join me within the hour, she'll join my colleagues on NTV Sasa later on. But the other story that we're following up for you is about the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education. 8-day one, the practicals are over. They began with mathematics paper 1 and 2. They're expected to do chemistry later on in the afternoon. But speaking to my colleagues from around the country, we understand that the examination began very early as anticipated or on schedule, and there were no incidences reported so far. We're also following the visiting of Deputy President William Ruto to Migori County. That's in Nyatike. Bernardo Juang is on standby for us. We're following that story for you. Plus, these are the stories. Let's take a look at today's diary. After 4 years of preparations, the day is finally here, and the Kenya Certificate of Secondary Education examination kicked off today morning. About 664,585 candidates at the exams. Now, candidates are currently sitting for their mathematics paper 1 and 2, which began at 8 a.m. Later in the afternoon, they are expected to sit for science paper, that is chemistry. Now, the candidates will be eyeing close to 100,000 slots in 70 public and private universities in the country, while those who will not make it or make to the cut are likely to join technical institutions. And Equity Group, that's the group that owns Equity Bank, is holding its investor briefing to announce its third quarter results. Now, the bank has posted an 18% rise after tax profit of 11 billion shillings on increased interest earnings and cost management measures. Now, Equity becomes the first bank to announce the finances at a time lenders are keen in the shape of their loan books, with the interest rate capping law remaining in place despite the industry's spirited effort for a review of the same. And the Kenya Chamber of Mines will be holding a press conference ahead of the mining forum right here in the capital. The conference is focusing on mining investment opportunities in the country and will run for 2 days from the 12th of November. Part of the discussions will be looking at financing and regulatory challenges in the small-scale sector. And we don't have the latest, but we are told that the bodies of 2 students who drowned in the river Yana at the weekend are yet to be found. Now, the family and friends are hoping the wait will soon be over, as they who have been spending the last 2 nights camping near the river banks. By last evening, our reporter in Kisumu, that's Oko Kusa, said he visited the families of Derek Ouka and Charlotte Ateno, whose bodies have not yet been found after they were swept downstream by the raging waters. Now, we are keeping our eye on this story, and hopefully today the bodies of the 2 students who are shooting or taking photographs drowned in that river. Let's take you to China now, where President Uhuru Kenyatta is, and China has agreed to open its market to Kenyan goods. Now, the Kenya industries are demanding protection. This is obviously from the influx of Chinese goods, including food, in the Kenyan market. Now, President Kenyatta has been holding talks with his counterpart, President Xi Jinping, to resolve the trade imbalance, which is heavily tilted in favor of China. Now, Kenyan officials say they see no signs that China could provide support, or they see signs rather that China could provide support for the extension of the standard gauge railways to the city of Kisumu. And in the past week, we were in Tharaka, Nithi County, where we were camping for the weekend, and we had several stories for you. Among them is about the Nithi Bridge, which has been described as the killer bridge. It's located about 3 kilometers from where our crew was last evening, and an early spot check yesterday revealed a series of contours that merge into steep descents that crosses the river Nithi. Now, Governor Migori, the governor of that county, say he has a blueprint to improve the road, but it can only be implemented in collaboration with the national government, since the road is under the Kenya National Highways Authority.
Despite the glaring sign, this road still claims hundreds of lives. Here, nature seems to have conspired to endanger the lives of travelers.
This is the most dangerous bridge in northern and central Africa. Yeah.
The steep descent and ascent combined with the gravitational force downwards collude to a shocking chain of death.
It does not matter how much this government can spend to have straight pillars from up Medero, and you cross this valley and you join the road at the upper side so that we can avoid this slope, so that we just have one straight. Failure to that, the other's much cheaper alternative. This road can pass through here, but it means that we have to buy land here. Farmers have to be compensated. Homes have to be compensated.
The road manned by the Kenya National Highways Authority connects several counties, but the countless accidents has overwhelmed the Chuka Level 4 hospital, which is exactly 2.5 kilometers away.
We have a black spot here, Nithi Bridge. Most of the patients, whenever there's an accident, they are brought here. So we are on the highway and we handle most of the emergencies here.
The barriers behind me bear the tales of when steel meets concrete in a fatal crash that has claimed many lives on this same bridge. In 2000, 40 people died right here. 2 years before that, 58 people died when the bus they were traveling in lost control, broke through the barriers and plunged right into the river in front of me.
Hapa kuna kuanga na ajali nyingi kwa wingi. Hata wakati huu ndio imepungua zaidi. Mbeleni ilikuwa kwa wingi sana.
Sometimes though, human error, neglect or just plain impunity also adds to the already dire situation on the road.
Right, good illuminating story right there from Trevor Mbija. Now, agriculture is one of the major economic activities in Tharaka Nithi County. The vital sources of livelihood in this county is, however, rocked with challenges which include inadequate markets. Now, the high cost of farm inputs, among others, also pose as challenges. While the county admits that the challenges affect productivity, it has also devised ways to achieve maximum produce by addressing problems facing the farmers. Melita Oletenge spent a day with the farmers in the dairy, tea and coffee sectors in Tharaka Nithi and now brings us this report.
Tharaka Nithi County produces an average of 55 million liters of milk annually, worth 1.9 billion. This production is owed to farmers such as Florence Mukuru, who have learnt the ropes of dairy farming to boost agricultural production in the area. She has 5 cows, with each cow giving her returns of up to 50,000 a month during a calving period.
Asubuhi uko na pesa, saa sita uko na pesa, jioni uko na pesa. Wakati uko na ng'ombe, hakuna umaskini.
To increase milk production, the county government rolled out a subsidy program for artificial insemination in the region, where farmers can get their breeding done for 200 shillings as opposed to 3,000 shillings. Over 14 milk coolers have also been installed in the county for quality production. However, farmers are faced with challenges in identifying on heat signals of their cows.
Ni afadhali watusaidie na kujua ni chumvi nzuri gani ile ya kupatia ng'ombe, ndio wakati wote after at least ikikafu 2-3 months unaweka mbegu ingine.
As a county, we are going to train them more on the area of livestock management, dairy management, so that they're able to detect and know the period required to detect when your cow is on heat.
Away from dairy farming, the tea and coffee sectors in the region have been a cash cow for years. However, they have been rocked by challenges which range from brokery, pests and diseases to dwindling income.
Wale watu wanafanya kazi hawalipwi, na wakitolipwa sasa wakienda unakuta sasa kahawa imeharibika.
The Department of Agriculture in Tharaka Nithi holds that the cash crop farming sector is aided by varying qualities of coffee, which in the end reduce the value once the produce from different farms are put in one basket.
This involves the Department of Agriculture, the management of the factory, to ensure that all the farmers are producing almost nearly same quality.
Agriculture is the backbone of the economy here in Tharaka Nithi County, a sector that the county government is banking on for the sustainability of its residents. But to improve this sector, the county government insists on paying attention to the farmers' needs. Milita Oletenges, NTV, Tharaka Nithi County.
Right, from Tharaka Nithi County, let's just go to Muranga, just not so far off from Tharaka Nithi. And this morning, while the students were preparing to begin sitting for their examinations, they noticed that there were a lot of senior government officials with them who opened the containers and went round, just like the president and deputy president went round last week to witness the beginning of the KCPE. And in Tharaka, Nithi, in Muranga, in Muranga County, specifically where Martin Maure is, it was witnessed by the Water and Sanitation Cabinet Secretary or Principal Secretary, I'm not sure, but let's speak to Martin Maure, who is sure of who was there. Martin?
Thank you, Ken. As you have said, yes, today the President dispatched a team to come and oversee the beginning of the KCSE. And as I had earlier told you before the hitch, Muranga County has 27,398 candidates who are sitting the exams at 338 secondary schools. As you have clearly said, yes, Water Principal Secretary Joseph Irongo joined Muranga teachers to come and oversee and launch the KCSE. Now, joining me live is the principal himself, Principal Secretary himself, to tell us more of what he has seen. Bwana Irongo, karibu.
Thank you, Maura. You have introduced me already. I'm accompanied by the County Commissioner, and I have a big team that has been with me the whole morning. The journey began here at 6 in the morning at this container. We did witness the opening of the container, and all the question papers were distributed. I witnessed the distribution of the papers to all the center managers who happened to be principals of schools. And we went off to schools. My team visited Mobi girls. We talked to the girls, and they were upbeat, they were ready. We also observed as they were being frisked, and they settled for the exams. We then moved on to Gaturi girls, and a few minutes ago we have come from Hodora boys. Now, as you have rightly mentioned, we have 338 centers across the county where the examinations are being mounted. And we have slightly over 25,000 students who are participating in the exams. And like I did assure in the morning, we have a huge team of monitors. I'm part of the monitor. I'm the lead monitor actually in the county. And we shall be here for the rest of, beginning now for the rest of the time, monitoring the management of the exams. We have had no challenges so far. We are doing well. The students have been given a very, very good environment to do the exams. Actually, as I stand here, we are waiting for the finalization of this morning's papers. They should start coming in from around midday to around 1. We should be receiving them here. And once we receive them, then the day will be over. So that's why we are here. Security-wise, the County Commissioner is managing, and his colleagues. And we expect that there will be no issues. So I simply want to assure the residents of Muranga County that the arrangements are in top gear. Like you can see, we are actually mobile, and everything is running as per schedule. Thank you, Maura.
Thank you. Now, there are attempts by students, some who may try to rig or to steal the exam. Maybe what is your caution to them?
Well, I think first and foremost, it's important for students to understand that they need to get their marks. There should be no attempt at all to try and falsify anything. It won't work because the arrangements that have been put in place, we have adequate security across. And I don't expect any student to attempt to do that because it will definitely be a breach of the law. It is actually an offense, and I don't want any student to get caught up in that. We don't expect that. But in the unlikely event of anybody trying, then the security arm will catch up with them. But it's highly unlikely because the students have been talked to. They have been mentored very, very well, and we do not expect that kind of an eventuality.
Thank you so much, Bwana PS. Okay. As I have said, everything is set from Muranga, and no glitches, no hitches, nothing. Back to you in studio.
All right, Martin, perhaps before I let you go, being the PS of water, there's a lot of water issues in Muranga. All right, Martin has left, but we wanted to ask a lot of water issues in Muranga County. Last week on Sidebar, I had leaders from that region who said they're not going to relent even as they continue to fight for the right to have the water in Muranga remain in Muranga. Unfortunately, we are unable to ask that question. All right, let's go back to Tharaka Nithi. That's where our team was over the last weekend. Now, the county of Tharaka Nithi is set to join the county's tourism sector with the introduction of a new circuit aimed at exploring the county's untapped tourism potential. Now, the county is home to a series of exciting attractions, including the famed scenic route to the top of Mount Kenya, as NTV Brenda Wanga found out.
This is in Nduru village, Ganga Ward, Mara constituency. The thick foliage hides the home of hundreds of thousands of mammals that are usually considered a bad omen. These are the Inanduru bat caves. The nocturnal creatures cover the entire roof of the caves, and the caves are rumored to be the longest cave in the region. The bats attract tourists and farmers who come to see the creatures and collect the droppings for use as manure. This isn't the only attraction in this county. In Marimanti is another hidden gem. Accessing this, however, isn't for the faint-hearted. The falls are stark contrast to the surrounding environment that is dry and semi-arid. But perhaps the significant feature is the county's stake of Mount Kenya. The county boasts one of the most scenic routes to the summit of the mountain, the Chogoria route. Apart from the views, the county also lays claim to 3 of the 26 lakes that lay on the mountain. Our travels took us to Mount Ellis, the 3rd largest lake on Mount Kenya. To get to this rare tourist attraction, you have to trek for about 8 kilometers from the Chogoria Gate and climb to an altitude of about 3,000 meters above sea level. But once you get here, the view is worth it. The lake occupies 28 acres of land. Lake Alice and Lake Michelson are the other 2 larger lakes on the mountain. These attractions, coupled with the elephant maternity, are some of the attractions that the county is now seeking to market as tourist attractions in a bid to get more visitors, both local and foreign, to the county.
Tumetengeneza circuit ama mzunguko ambao utasaidia wageni wakija wataona nini.
Brenda Wanga, NTV.
Right, now you know the next tourist attraction. That's just in Tharaka Nithi County, and you know the best circuit to the top of Mount Kenya. Now, firefighting is one of the hardest, daring and most challenging fields. For Alex Mugambi, the job came with a sense of fulfillment. He's the man who takes charge of any eventuality that will require the services of Fire Brigade in Tharaka Nithi County, which has 3 fire rescue departments. He tells us what drives him.
My name is Alex Mugambi. I'm the in charge of fire and rescue services in Tharaka Nithi. I've been a firefighter for the last 2 years. When I was young, I didn't see myself being a firefighter, but as I grew up, I started getting passion towards firefighting because on the university I did an IT degree. I did some computer science, but when I joined service, I shifted to firefighting because I was so passionate about saving life and other things. You have to be on standby. Even if you are off shift, you're on standby. You can be called upon to assist the team that is on shift. So my family and my members of the family, the extended family, normally understand me that I can't be sleeping, but I'll get a call and I'll have to go out because it is all about life saving. Anytime you go to an accident, what is very important is to ensure that the scene is safe before you start doing other activities like evacuating the casualty. The event of fire adrenaline goes up, we do things very rapidly, we do things very fast. We respond in a kilometer, we respond in less than 3 minutes. So our preparation is always up to standard because we are always here, we are always alert. Sometimes it gets very hot, but you see the kind of clothing we have, they are heat resistant, not fire resistant. Even if you approach some heat to a very close distance, you might not feel the heat. And when we're going to a building that is very smoking, there's a lot of smoke. We have some breathing apparatus, as you can see there. We have breathing apparatus. We don't on breathing apparatus. We get in, we suppress the fire, we evacuate the casualties.
Do computer location, sir. Go on, man, number 1. Thank you, sir.
We don't normally do fire alone. We do water rescue, we do pits and bore rescue. Some people get trapped in boreholes. We also do accidents, we also do fires. So when you combine those incidences, in a month we might get like an average of 10 per month. And advise so many people to join fire service because as much as it's Sakalia, 7 lives and you more lives. Because in the event you assist someone, you are blessed.
The moment you save someone, you are blessed. Well, back in the day, the traditional Tharaka Nithi woman would be identified through her attire, which more often than not stood out of the crowd. Now, the distinct style, color and print would actually identify the women in different age groups and even distinguish between happy and sad times. Here is the Tharaka Nithi woman's traditional attire.
Tuna mavazi ya umri tofauti katika mila yetu. Msichana wa kwanza ni msichana mdogo ambaye ameanza kubalehe. Huyu msichana amevalia mavazi ambayo yametengenezwa na sisal, ambayo huku chini wakaweka vitu zinaitwa ndwana, zinatolewa kwa miti. Huyu msichana ni msichana ambaye hajatairiwa. Kwa kimila zetu kitambo wasichana walikuwa wanatairiwa, japo sisi tumekataa mila hiyo na tukaipinga kabisa na imeisha. Vazi la pili ni la msichana ambaye amebalehe na ako tayari kuolewa. Huyu ambaye anaenda kuolewa, kwenye shingo lake amejaza na kwenye kiuno amejaza necklaces. Kwa hivyo amejaribu kurembeshwa ndio aweze kupata mtu wa kumwoa, na hata mikono yake unaona amejaza bangili. Vazi lake kule chini limewekwa pia mapambo. Vazi la tatu ni la mama ambaye ameolewa. Amevaa ngozi ya ng'ombe inaitwa kidhare. Huyu mama amejifungua. Kwa hivyo lile vazi alilovaa mbele ni la kusitiri mtoto kutoka kwa baridi wakati amemshika, wakati wamelala, wakati wanatembea, na hata yeye unaona amerembeshwa sana kwenye kichwa chake. Bangili yake ya kichwa ni tofauti na za wale ambao hawajaolewa. Unamuona hata mguu wake amewekwa amerembeshwa zaidi, sababu mume wake alipomuoa kuna mambo ambayo alimuongezea. Huyu ni mama mzee kabisa, yule ana wajukuu. Ni mama tu ako nyumbani, ana shughuli nyingi, yeye hata hitaji kuonekana, mama wa kawaida, lakini ana mavazi zaidi sababu inaonyesha kuwa yeye amepitia zile sherehe zote za Kitharaka na ana ukwasi kulingana na rinda lake.
And unknown to many, the tourism industry has played a bigger or the biggest role in community projects and conservation efforts in that county. There are tourists who, aside from visiting the sandy beaches, take their time to volunteer and financially help local communities in their day-to-day running of their affairs. Harith Salim toured Kwale County and sampled some of the projects that owe their survival to that industry.
When you speak about tourism in this country, what comes to mind is the biggest hotels, bed capacity, and maybe the rates. But there's much more to this than meets the eye.
This is Colobus Conservation in Diani, Kwale County. A tourist attraction and, most importantly, a community project meant to care for and protect the most endangered species of monkeys, Colobus monkeys. Other types of monkeys are also cared for here. This is one of the projects that owes its success to the tourism industry. Our tour to go watch the Colobus monkeys at the conservation led us to this couple. They're tourists visiting the south coast. They are also veterinary volunteers offering their services for 2 weeks.
My name is Antonio Giuliano. I come from Italy, but I've been working in England now for 10 years, and I am a vet. I came in here with Emily, my girlfriend. We heard about this place online. We thought it was a great project. We like the fact that their main intention is, rehabilitate the monkey and then release them and educate the local community about how important is wildlife in general as well, not just the monkey in particular, the Colobus that are more in danger.
Part of the community is getting people work and making more awareness of the situation with the monkeys here, so it's worthwhile for everyone to know and find out about this.
These two are only a small portion of many tourists who, aside from enjoying the sights the country has to offer, also give back to the communities they visit.
It's a great feeling. I feel as if I'm doing something really valuable and making a difference in animal welfare and animal conservation. The Colobus Trust is internationally known, and I'd heard about it in the UK from other people who'd been here to Diani and heard about the great work that they do, so felt that this was the place for me to come.
The management here has been collaborating with the community to sensitize other people on the importance of monkeys, especially these endangered species of colobus.
Tourist akikuja hapa ni manufaa kwake pia, lakini wengi wanatumia kama delicacy, wanyama hawa ni kama delicacy kwao, na wengine wanatumia kama jinsi ya ushirikina, wengine wanaamini zina nguvu katika ushirikina. So wengi tunawafundisha ama kuhamasisha kwamba wana right ya kuishi na kuwatoa katika ile kitamaduni ama kule kufikiria kwamba wanaweza tumika katika njia nyingine. Jambo nyingine la pili, tuwafundisha kuhusu mazingira na umuhimu wa wanyama.
Anthony Gashuna has been volunteering here for more than 5 years. He is now considered as the main man here. According to him, tourism has had a much bigger impact on their work here.
We have a volunteer program here and we get experience from them. Some of them are like botanists, we have veterinary doctors, we have people studying anthropology, and they also come to give us, we exchange ideas with them here. Because conservation is not just like a national thing, it's international. You have to exchange ideas with other people from around the world. Because us guys run on like, we do eco tours, and we depend on the tourists coming to visit our center. So if they don't come because of travel advisories, then like most of our projects we cannot do, because like we depend on them, yeah. And also the volunteer program, they're not also going to come if they have travel advisories.
A few meters from the colobus conservation, there is another project. This one protects sea turtles. Turtles are considered as a delicacy, and this has endangered their survival. Their shells and eggs too are valuable. Luciana Perazzi is a resident here and founder of Turtle Information Center, which works hand in hand with Watamu Turtle Watch. She says tourists and players in the hotel industry have played a significant role in their campaign to protect turtles.
I have 12 monitors along the beach, all hand-picked between beach boys, fishermen, kiosk sellers, but people from the beach who are interested in conservation. It's not just turtles, it's conservation everywhere. You've just been to Colobus Conservation. Help us. We do a lot of their work in Diani Colobus Conservation. Help us along the beaches. Help us monitor these eggs. Help us to stop some of the beach operators from stealing the eggs or killing the turtles for bushmeat.
At this center, locals and tourists are taught about this animal, their life cycle, protection and reproduction. Residents here like Juma offer their services on voluntary basis after receiving training.
Tunashukuru, tulipata Luciana akatupeleka shule. Sasa tunafanya hii kazi kwa moyo mmoja. Tunaangalia kasa kama ametaga mahali pazuri, tunawacha. Kama ametaga mahali pabaya, tunaondoa, tunaweka mahali pazuri.
Here we meet Jenny Choma, a marine biologist and researcher. She came here as a tourist but also decided to render her services to this project. She has devised a new method of taking count of the turtles in a bid to offer protection.
Every turtle has a unique pattern of scales on their face. Just here behind the eye, all the way back along. This portion of their face, the pattern of scales, you can see the shape is different. And every single turtle, we take a picture of both sides of their face, and then you can see every one as an individual. So just by swimming around underwater, we take pictures, both sides of the face, compare them afterwards, and you can build a database and learn about the exact population that's living along the reefs. So we can learn more about the population, where they are, how they use the reef. and hopefully then protect them better.
Few kilometers from the Turtle Center, there is another community project, Diani Children's Village. Faith Ndungu is in charge here. She says the tourism industry has been of great help to see the orphans through their basic needs.
Ni challenge kwa saidi ya pesa. Tuna manage through donations na well-wishers wale wanakuja na wengine wanakuja wana sponsor. Nowadays si wengi sana wanakuja, although inategemea na seasons. Kwa sababu kama wakati huu kulikuwa na challenges kwa tourism industry. Kwa hivyo hata wao kuja inakuwa ni vingumu, lakini vile kama Diani inaenda na season.
The help they get from donors has enabled them start their own projects, especially in farming, to manage their other costs. Harith Salim, NTV.
The other side of tourism. Let's now talk entertainment. The other side of the studio. Usha?
Right, Ken. Of course, a lot on the entertainment scene. As usual, we do start with the meme of the day. So here you go. Now, I know you are going to think this is probably really silly, and it is silly, but it's also hilarious. So, well, I hope you enjoy. Keep your memes coming at Usha Hoseidol, #entertainmentbrief. That is how you can reach us. And then I will, of course, put your meme on the screen. All right, and moving on now, the Texas Cancer Center and B Concepts are actually teaming up for an extremely good cause. Now, they are organizing a mega concert to help raise funds to create cancer awareness and enable early diagnosis as well as more research. Some of the artists performing will be nameless: Kidum, Navy Kenzo, and Lady JD. Now, it's for a good cause, and given that lineup, it will be quite the concert. So you'd best plan to attend. I will be giving you more details in the course of the week. And on to the latest music that you should be listening to. This time it is from Kenya, and of course it is gospel. I am talking about Holy Holy, which has been done by Size 8. Take a listen.
You are holy.
right, Usha, thank you very much. And indeed, there can be 100 people in the room and 99 don't believe in you, but just that one person, and that's me. Thank you, and enjoyed your show. Thank you, Usha. And of course, in about 30 days, a month or so, the KCSE comes to an end. Then the next question or the next focus goes now to the results and then goes to the candidates. About 600,000 looking for about 100,000 positions. It means the rest have to go to TIVET or Teachers Training College. Now, we understand that the government has lowered the entry grade to D. Let's talk about this, and Nuru Abdulaziz now joins me in studio. They're going to have this discussion on NTV Sasa. Good morning, good to see you.
Good morning.
Tell me about Niko Salama kabisa. Tell me about the lowering of the grade to D. What was it initially? What was the grade initially?
Hapo awali ilikuwa alama cha.
Cha, okay.
Kwa sasa ni hadi D au da.
What has informed this?
Ndio sasa tunataka kujua, kwa sababu tuna wageni hapa katika studio ambao wataweza kutueleza ni nini haswa ilisababisha au ilifanya wakaamua kuwa na kufanya uamuzi kama huu, kuwezesha kwamba wanafunzi ambao watapata alama ya da waweze kujiunga na taasisi za mafunzo kutokana na labda wengi wanasema kwamba ni hali ambayo ukiangalia kwamba wanafunzi wengi wamekuwa fail mtihani
ama kufungiwa
nje. Lakini pia kuna wale ambao wanasema kwamba idadi ya walimu ambao hawajaandikwa kazi pia ni wengi kufikia sasa. Kwa hivyo tukiwa na walimu kama hao au wanafunzi kama hao wakijiunga na taasisi kama hizi, itaongeza pia idadi hiyo kuwa zaidi, na kuna wale ambao tayari bado hawajapata kuajiriwa.
All right, great. Asante sana. Nura Abdulaziz will be here with Harith Salim in the next few minutes. Stay here. NTV Sasa is on air shortly. My name is Ken Mijungu. Good morning. Shukran.